Hey everybody, just wanted to check in and share something with you. Earlier this week on my Facebook, I recommended a movie called Just Mercy, and I recommended it because I have seen it and I read the book in seminary. Just Mercy, both the book and the movie are the account and the experience of Brian Stevenson and his work for as a lawyer to represent the underrepresented and his work against racism and systematic injustice, especially in the criminal justice system um, in in Alabama and in the South, but that is also representative of a lot of different places, and it's a true story, and it's not set that long ago, just the late '80s, early '90s, and so not that much has changed since then. And so, if you would like a little awareness and to hear different perspectives of some of the things that are happening in our world, I highly recommend it to you. I know the movie is free right now to rent on streaming platforms. I know it's on Amazon Prime. I think Redbox streaming has it for free, and I think the Apple Store has it. And so it's easy, and you can watch it. It'll just take a couple hours of your time, um, but those couple hours um, could be very powerful. I also recommend the book if you have a chance to get it from a local library or order it somehow, um, or you want to borrow my copy. I also have the movie on Blu-ray if you want to borrow that. But the book has more stories and it connects more of the dots. And Brian is able to share more about his motivation and and his faith, and why he does what he does. And in that light, I wanted to share just a little bit um, from it, and maybe as I do this, um, maybe it can be a little bit of a challenge for our church in this world we live in right now. So Brian, in a conversation he's having with a woman that comes to the courthouse to sit regularly. She comes to the courthouse to sit and let people cry on her shoulders uh, because of the pain and whatever they are experiencing. And because of that conversation, he's reminded of of a talk that he gave at a church. Um, he was invited to come to this church meeting because he was working on a case with someone in that community, and so he said he mostly talked about that case. Um, but on page 309, and this is not a spoiler if you're going to read the book, he says this. But I also reminded people that when the woman accused of adultery was brought to Jesus, he told the accusers who wanted to stone her to death, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." The woman's accusers retreated, and Jesus forgave her and urged her to sin no more. But today, our self-righteousness, our fear, and our anger have caused even the Christians to hurl stones at the people who fall down. Even when we know we should forgive or show compassion. I told the congregation that we can't simply watch that happen. I told them that we have to be stone catchers. We have to be stone catchers. I don't know about you, but in our world today, I don't see a lot of stories ending like the story of Jesus did, where people walk away, where forgiveness wins. Instead, in our world today, I see a lot of stones being hurled. I've thrown my share. We throw them at each other. We often throw them at the people that have fallen down as they get hit over and over again. Even when we know, as Brian says, we know we should forgive or show compassion. But he tells the church, and maybe us today, that sometimes we need to stand in the gap. Sometimes we need to protect people from the stones that others hurl. And sometimes we need to be stone catchers. I'm going to leave it there and let you think about what that means. There's clearly systematic and kind of societal things that we need to work on, and stones that are hurled at people that don't have a voice and don't are already hurt. But there's also a lot of individual things in our lives, and each of us is different. Each of us know different people and have different experiences and have different abilities to help. And so I'm going to let you, and I'm going to continue to think about, I'm going to let you think about what being a stone catcher means. As Brian said, and as we talk about quite a bit in church, we are called to love our neighbors. And sometimes that means protecting them from the stones that people are hurling. And so may we find ways to be stone catchers in this world that it's very easy to be stone throwers in. Amen.